Wait, how am I supposed to do that?
With the power-ups. They give us special abilities.
Ugh. Really?
Go on. Eat it.
Are you sure there's not like a...
Down the hatch. Yep, there it is, and all gone.
Whoa!
The Super Mario Bros. Movie comes out of nowhere to be the biggest success story of the year, as well as one of the biggest animated success stories of the ages. In it, a lowly New York plumber called Mario gets sucked into this alternate world with his brother Luigi. And then he must join forces with a princess of the world to defeat an evil emperor called Bowser and save his brother. And altogether, this is a movie that pisses me off more than any other in a long time. See, the video games that I'm a fan of, they're already very narratively and cinematically strong. They should almost automatically turn into incredible films. Yet, one of those films was mediocre at best, and the other was Assassin's Creed. You know, except without the assassins or the Creed. Mainly, it was just ass. And I don't usually say this, but I wasn't too happy with getting that. Meanwhile, Mario is a game where you just run around and jump and whatever. It should become the dumbest movie of all time, right?
Super Mario in real life.
And yet... yeah, the Mario movie is a movie that works pretty damn well for many reasons. The visuals are astounding, the comedy is entertaining and funny. I mean, it's a pretty well-paced good time based on a property loved by many. But the most remarkable thing about it is how it functions quite effectively for all audiences, even for those who don't necessarily love Mario.
Who the f*** is that guy?
You know, no matter who you are, you can get into this film where it counts. You can be invested in Mario's journey, you can feel a sense of momentum to not be bored, and you can also care at the end when a plumber turns into a Super Saiyan to fight whatever this thing is. And that, my friends, in big part, I would attribute to this movie using certain Hollywood cheat code formulas. See, altogether, Mario's narrative structure is very similar to many other Hollywood animations, as well as the most Hollywoodest of Hollywood blockbusters. That structure can include things that don't fit all movies, like IP elements and a MacGuffin that makes the plot easier to perceive. But it also includes things that all movies do benefit from, things that here explain those key positives I mentioned in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. I've talked about Hollywood formulas before, but since Mario utilizes some of the most effective ones with incredible results, today let's dive into them. Let's go through this movie to see what Hollywood cheat codes it uses to pull you along and what buttons you need to press to achieve the same in your movie. While formulas aren't always great, here's a few narrative cheat combinations you should be using to appeal to big audiences. The first cheat code formula here, used in the beginning to get you on board the journey, is that it's the hero's own flaw that sets the plot in motion. Basically, Mario is an aspiring plumber entrepreneur who wants to be taken seriously by others. The problem is that, aside from his brother, the people around him aren't exactly taking him seriously. His former boss is sure that on his own he'll never make it.
You're a joke, and you always will be.
His clients aren't exactly impressed by his work, and even his own family has doubts.
Dad, what did you think?
I think you're nuts. You don't leave a steady job for some crazy dream.
Well, thanks, Dad. Thanks for your support.
That essentially is the character-defining flaw of Mario. He's obsessed with being seen as a real deal, no matter the cost. Whether the cost is putting his life savings in an ad, or whether it's dragging his brother into danger just to prove to the city that he can do things others can't.
And the worst part? You're bringing your brother down with you.
And what ends up happening is that this character flaw of Mario incites trouble in a way that begins the plot. Mario's plan to stop a local flooding goes down the drain, so to speak, after which he and Luigi get pulled into this mysterious pipe which separates their paths into different worlds.
Nothing can hurt us as long as we're together!
And as a result, the adventure begins.
Is landed in the Darklands.
I'm taking you to see the princess. She can help you.
Yeah, so Mario must join forces with the princess of this realm in order to defeat an emperor called Bowser and save Luigi. In other words, he must undo the consequences created by his own obsession of being taken seriously at any cost. He must rescue his brother from the mess he himself put him in. It's Mario's own flaw that has set the journey in motion. Oops. And the reason that's vital is because it automatically makes Mario's quest feel that much more important. For example, let's say Mario's flaw had nothing to do with any of it. Let's say Luigi just got in trouble on his own and the movie was about Mario heading after him to save him like a good brother. Would it function? Sure.
Luigi!
But not to the same extent. A lot of audiences who don't already know or care about this bond between Mario and Luigi would have a tougher time to invest in the journey.
We don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
But what each and every audience member of each and every species does know and can relate to is the fact that one's own mess always makes for the most powerful cleanup.
Did you do this to my slipper? What did you do?
Mario is responsible for Luigi's peril, so it's absolutely vital for us to see him make it right. He's not a bad guy, we still like him, we know he only ever had good intentions. It's just that he can't yet see past this fault in his own character. And honestly, this is something that to some extent you should be doing, not only to increase investment, but also to make your hero an active person pushing the plot rather than a passive spectator being pushed by the plot. It's just a matter of finding a fresh, organic way to do it. Whether it's Woody's jealous flaw of wanting to be Andy's favorite toy that makes him half accidentally yeet Buzz out the window. Oops. Or whether it's Ralph's insecure flaw of needing Vanellope as his best friend that ends up wrecking everything. Oops. Or...
Now what's key here is that your character's flaw actually comes out of her grand passion. It's a good thing that's just been taken too far. She's gonna have to make a choice on how to deal with her new reality. There's a high road to take, a healthy, responsible choice, or a low road to take and make an unhealthy, irresponsible choice. And remember, if your character chooses to do the right thing, you really don't have a story. So the irresponsible choice for Bob is to lie to his wife Helen and go moonlighting with his buddy Frozone. And that unhealthy choice leads to a crisis, Mirage tracking him down, which leads to Syndrome bringing Bob out of retirement, and you're off into your second act.
I'm in.
So that's what I learned at Pixar. And I'm not saying that all stories have to start this way, but if you're writing a script...
Now, of course, the choice is yours. If you feel like you can't find a fresh way to naturally use this cheat code without feeling like you're repeating other movies, then don't use it. Then just make your hero a cog in the world and find other ways to make up for it. But for those willing to dig into your hero to find something to create the story with, you should. Our own mess will always feel more vital to us than someone else's mess. Saving our brother will always feel that much more significant when we know that on some level, we carry responsibility for the danger he's been put in. We have to save him or... well, there's no or. It's on us, so we absolutely must do it. That is a very effective way to generate investment for a journey. The second cheat code formula here, used in the middle to keep you fresh and entertained, is that the midpoint completes the first half of the movie and also increases challenge for the second half. Like I mentioned, Mario's main goal is to join forces with the princess to defeat Bowser and save his brother. That is the main objective A. But there's also another objective baked into this, objective B, and that is to assemble an army.
I'm going to convince the Great Kong army to help us. Together, we'll annihilate that monster.
Yeah, to complete Objective A and save Luigi, Mario must first convince the Kong Nation to join the fight against Bowser to have even a chance. And as the first half of the movie progresses, that is what things wind down to. King Kong tells the princess that no, the only way he'll let his army join is if Mario beats his son in a gladiator battle, which Mario agrees to. The issue is that King Kong's son turns out to be Donkey Kong, this really buff monkey character you know from that Evanescence song.
He's the leader of the bunch. You know him.
And there you go, that's the first half finale. In order for the second half of the movie to happen, in order for Mario to pursue Objective A, he must first complete Objective B by beating DK, which is a bit of a hurdle since DK is like, what, 7 times his size. And the battle goes accordingly. But as it so happens, Mario then gets this power-up and turns into a superior form of himself, a cat, which allows him to defeat DK. And so he has successfully made the Kong army join his cause. He has completed Objective B, and now he moves on to completing the main Objective A. And the reason this midpoint checkpoint is vital is because it generates a sense of momentum and progression. It's like a mountain in a blank background conveying motion. This is where we're going, and we have now taken a tangible step closer, which is better than walking in place until the third act, because with younger audiences especially, either you're moving or you're losing to their phones. This can also be done on a smaller scale throughout the way. For Mario to join the princess's trip, he has to first prove himself worthy by showing off his skills on this obstacle course. That's another tangible hurdle in the blank background to convey that we're getting closer to where we're headed. The audience doesn't have to be like little kids in a car constantly asking,
Are we there yet?
No.
Are we there yet?
No.
They can see the progression right there. But at the midpoint especially, you should complete a significant portion of the plot to make the audience feel that things are indeed happening and that the needle is indeed moving, which is best done by building a multi-step plot where a part can be fulfilled in the middle. In Force Awakens, the hero's initial objective is just to get Luke Skywalker's map to the Resistance. That's it. It's only after completing this Objective B that they move on to Objective A to join the Resistance's cause of beating the Empire and using the map to find Luke. It's only after Mario has defeated DK that he can have a chance against Bowser. The first half is done, and we're now that much closer to the destination. Another crucial aspect of the midpoint checkpoint is to also make the second half tougher, like with the Empire revealing their big gun to destroy the Republic and isolate the heroes.
First order, they've done it.
When Mario has gained the army, turns out Bowser is ready for them, and after a cool Rainbow Road chase, the army is captured, leaving Mario only with DK. As in, whereas in the first half the plan was to use the Kong army to defeat Bowser's army, in the second half it has to be done with the help of just one Kong, while everyone else is about to be toast. Or in the words of the great Michael Bay,
just got real.
In a sense, think of it like levels in a video game. We've successfully completed this one level, and now we're thrown into this another, much harder level. It feels like we're moving forward and also upward in terms of challenge and intensity. It's all winding down to the final act. Once again, make your own choices, but with modern audiences, a sense of progression and momentum and elevation never hurts. It's just a matter of designing your plot in a way that a segment of it can be completed after the first patch of road in a way that also makes the second patch of road seem that much harder. Do it right, and it's like your movie has just leveled up. The third cheat code formula here used at the end to make an emotional impression is that the finale takes place not only in the external world but also in the internal one. When the story moves into the third act, things are at rock bottom. Or at whale bottom. Mario and DK have been eaten by a whale, while things across the ocean aren't much better. The princess is being forced to marry Bowser, and the Kong army along with Luigi are about to be consumed by lava as Bowser's wedding gift.
I'll be sacrificing them in your honor.
Thanks.
In other words, the third act begins in defeat, which by itself is helpful because movies are meant to be emotional roller coasters. See, most movies end in victory, and the longest overall distance to victory is always from defeat. The most emotion you can mine is by zigzagging between positive and negative as you ascend from the bottom to the top. That's how you avoid being a straight tonal flatline like Consumables, like Red Notice and Ghosted. And what comes next is the big external battle. Mario and DK fly over to assault Bowser's army while the princess turns the white wedding into a blue one. And then they successfully save everyone from being toast. All of which honestly is very entertaining and awesome.
This is fun! Hey, what does this do?
But as awesome as this external battle may be, on its own, it's not enough. In order to really stay with the audience after the credits, the climax has to touch them also on the inside. And that is what ends up happening. Mario saves the kingdom, but also unintentionally brings the battle where everything began, home. Bowser's ship crashes into Brooklyn, and now, much like the external side, the internal side returns to the beginning, to Mario's flaw regarding not being taken seriously.
You really thought you could stop me? You worthless, weak little nothing!
You're a joke. Seriously, what were you thinking?
You're bringing your brother down with you.
Just what I thought.
Yeah, so now Mario's fears about being small are at the forefront once more. And while he does stand up just like in the beginning, this time he's doing so not to show off or to prove himself to the people around him. He's doing it not for himself, but for others. As in, the climax isn't only about the battle on screen, but also about once and for all deciding whether Mario is a tiny, insignificant person or not. And the reason that's vital is because it imbues the fist being thrown with a deeper meaning that audiences can take with them after the fact. The fight is about something. When Luigi gets over his deep fears and joins Mario of his own volition rather than being dragged into it, when they turn into Super Saiyans and destroy Bowser's army as well as him, it's not just about what you see. It also makes you feel that yes, now that Mario is working together with his brother instead of dragging him along to prove himself to others, that flaw inside him has been defeated in a way that allows them both to fly. That's the emotional feeling generated in you by this climax that you can remember it for. And look, big spectacle is awesome and even required by modern audiences. But at the very end, you should move away from spectacle and armies of characters and just focus on what really matters on the emotional side. The hero, the villain, and the hindering flaw inside the hero enforced by the villain. Whether it's Tony and Steve fighting each other instead of an army of winter soldiers. Whether it's Woody learning to see the value in Buzz and working with them to reach home. Or whether it's Mario confronting the problem inside him and learning to just do his own thing with his brother without worrying so much about what other people think. Once more, as with everything before, this is a very deliberate and overused combination of buttons designed to pull the emotional strings of the audience, and you can accuse it of such.
He's hacking, take him.
But like Mario, if you're able to delve deeper into this and other proven Hollywood combination formulas and find your own ways of using them, guess what? Most people won't notice, it'll just work on them. Why always rage against the machine when sometimes you can use the machine to help you with your work and maybe someday cheat your way to $1 billion?
So the lesson you gotta learn is this. It's not what you do. It's when and where you do it and who you do it to or with. If nobody sees it, it didn't happen.
Jimmy, he's 6. You really think that's the best thing to be telling your kid?
Yeah.